That is hardcore.
This is hardcore shit.
But for me, it's harder and harder to resist.
Welcome to Hardcore Horror with Mike and Brigitte. We are podcasting about hardcore horror. Hi, this is Mike and Brigitte. What's going on over there?
What's up, Mike?
Hey, how you doing?
Good. What's going on?
Awesome. Well, St. Patty's Day came and went. The Oscars came and went not too long ago. Of course, horror won in every category, every single one.
Every motherfucking time.
Which was great to see horror win everything. That was amazing. Or maybe that didn't happen the way I was thinking it did.
It would sound real good, though, wouldn't it?
It would sound good. So briefly, why do you think it is that horror gets so much flack, considering that it's pretty successful overall? We have number ones in slots throughout the year, quite a few times. You don't get that even with say a rom-com. Certain ones, a lot of them they won't chip that number one. A lot of times, special interest stuff they don't. But horror still gets the most flack, I feel like, and it's never really going away too much, is it?
Man, I feel like horror too is like you only capture like a slither of an audience, and a lot of people don't appreciate horror. They really don't.
Mm-hmm.
I out of God, I feel like I get it so much. Being an advocate in the industry that I'm in that pays my bills, people will come up to me. They're like, "Oh my God! Like, why do you watch horror movies? Like, what the fuck? I mean, like, that's the craziest shit."
Mm-hmm.
I'm like, dude, that is like, you are crazy. It's crazy to me that people don't watch horror, because to me, it's not real. It's my escape from reality. I'm like, do you watch a horror movie? Then you can sit back and look at life and be like, oh shit, maybe my life isn't so damn bad, But I do think that it doesn't get as much credit. The movies that do get credit, man, like, did you watch all the Oscars or no?
I didn't. No, I didn't watch any of it.
Fuck me either. Me either. I'm like, dude, but we both know, like, horror doesn't get the credit that it deserves, but it doesn't. From the Oscars, who gives a flying fuck, man? That's Hollywood. It's Hollywood, and that's why I love lower budget independent horror films, because people are genuinely appreciative, and they do it because they're so damn passionate about it and they love it so much.
Yeah, absolutely. No, I mean, Fangoria has their Chainsaw Awards and stuff like that. I mean, there's just different things that they get acclimates for. But yeah, I mean, it's just it is sad though, because I mean, a lot of horror is really well made and everything, but it doesn't get. I mean, obviously the Oscars are bullshit, and it doesn't matter about any of that stuff. But at the same time, it would be nice to have a little bit more respect for the genre, considering the fact that, again, it's a money-making business. I mean, like I said, you take comedy, you take drama. I mean, some of these movies do okay, but they probably don't have the shelf life that, say, horror movies do. Like, on the back end of rewatching, because let's face it, that's how we are. And then also, then it just extends for years and years. I mean, you're in one good horror movie, you're kind of set for life, because you can go and do all the conventions, and you're kind of just, you always have this sort of fan base built in. Whereas you make some comedy, 20 years later, I mean, it might be remembered, but chances are it possibly could not be. So I mean, that's just something to think about. So we got a guest tonight. His name is Jay Crimson. He's a filmmaker, but he also does a lot of other stuff as well, podcasting and music. He's into music and all that stuff. So we'll talk to him later and see what all he's got going on.
Awesome.
Let's talk about what we've been watching. You want to start, or you want me to start?
Dude, I'm gonna start because I've had a crazy busy week, couple weeks. So
shoot it at me.
All right, my first movie was the remake of Candyman.
Okay, what'd you think?
I wasn't a fan.
You was not a fan. Okay.
I was not a fan. I really wish that I would have went back and did a rewatch of the original. I haven't seen it in a really long time, but there was parts of it I liked, but there was parts of it I didn't like. The end, I kept saying to myself, I was like, wasn't the original story, wasn't it different? You
Oh
know?
yeah. Well, it's not
So,
really. It's not even really. I would call it a remake. I mean, only in name, really. I mean, it's not nowhere near the same story.
okay,
The,
that's what I thought. And
yeah.
I was kind of hoping going in that it was going to be like the original.
No,
And,
no, no.
it makes me do when I go back and watch, do a rewatch of it because I haven't seen it in years, but.
I love the original. It's actually one of my favorite films. It's a near perfect film. I think the original. I love it. It's great.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I
Well,
did like I did like the remake or whatever you want to call it. Okay, I liked it better than I thought I was going to because I really didn't think I was going to like it at all. I liked it better than I thought I was going to. But yeah, compared to the original now, I mean, I still love Tony Todd's
it's
version.
funny. I heard about this movie because I applied for a passport recently, right?
Okay.
And I had to drive a freaking hour and a half away from Nashville because every place in Greater Nashville was all booked up. So I had to drive
Wow.
to Tullahoma, the post office. I'm in the post office, and the guy that works there who's really cool. Really, he's like, I was like, hey, you like horror movies? He goes, oh my gosh, have you seen the new Candyman? You got to see the new Candyman. I was like, for real, I'm going to put that on my list. Here, let me give you my QR code. And I noticed that he started kind of following us, so I'm going to give him a shout out because he was the reason that I went home and watched that movie. It was pretty cool. Um, um, Going forward, I love my documentaries. I'm throwing in
hmm
documentaries a lot lately. I
hmm
watched one on the Subway guy. Is it
Oh yeah,
Jerry Fogel?
Jared. I don't know. Yeah, yeah, I know what you're talking
Oh
about.
my god,
Subway. Yeah.
I didn't even know like he was a pedophile.
Oh, you didn't know this? Oh.
No. I was like, isn't that the guy that like lost a bunch of weight from eating
hmm
Subway
Yeah.
sandwiches? And
Yeah.
so there's a little documentary out. I think it's on Investigation Discovery. That was pretty crazy. So that not the most extreme documentary, but I just didn't even know the guy was a pedophile, but
You never know.
I did a rewatch of Holy Mountain.
Okay, yeah, we talked about this a long time ago. Remember? You got me to watch
Yes,
this. Yeah.
I know. I've watched the movie maybe about a year ago for the first time.
hmm
Love this movie. Love this movie. It is so fucking crazy and intense
Yeah, it's out
that
there.
but I love it. And I still my favorite scene. I can't get over. I was like, has it got to the leopard titties yet? Has it got to that?
Oh, yeah, yeah, yeah.
I love this movie. If you haven't seen it, you're in for a long ride. The first 30 minutes, you're going, what the fuck is happening right now? But I
Yeah.
think that's like the director's way of saying you're in for a long ride on this movie. This is just giving you an example of how fucked up this movie really is. So that was a good one.
Yeah.
I watched this is not even really a horror movie, but I'm gonna give it a shout out because I did sit through it. Is the movie The Well with Brandon Fraser.
I saw that too. Yeah.
Did you
hmm
did you like it?
Yeah. I mean, it's all right. I mean, yeah. I mean, a good performance. I mean, sure.
He okay, fine, he did great. I did the movie. I was disappointed. I was like, this is it. This is what the big hype is all about.
I mean, it's a little Oscar bait worthy, which I mean, it did win, so there you go. But yeah, I
Yeah.
mean,
I'm gonna stick to my horror movies, just Sam.
okay.
But I did watch Tenebrae 1982 Dario
Magento,
Argento.
sure,
Yes, I
sure.
had never seen this one.
Oh no, yeah, that's a good one.
I always heard that it was really, really good. I still like Suspiria a little bit better.
I do too. Suspiria is my favorite, but that one, Tenebrae's good. Deep Red. I mean, there's some good ones he's done.
Yeah, and
Don't.
love the Italians with their blood is always so damn extreme and so like bright red.
hmm
I love it. It's so artistic.
Yeah.
I love that. I watched. Oh my gosh, this is a good one. I watched this is a rewatch for me. Girl in the Box. Have you seen this one?
Is that a Lifetime movie?
It's funny because I thought that the first time that I watched it was on Lifetime. I thought, but maybe not. I'm not sure. I'm not sure. I did a rewatch the other night, but it wasn't on Lifetime. But I watched it a few years ago. But I followed this story for a long time before there was ever even a movie made about it. So, did you ever watch? Did you watch the movie?
I don't think so. I mean, I might have. I watched one or two of those, kind of in that same vein, but I don't. If I did, it's been so long I don't recall it.
This one's a really good one. Just because I followed the story so much, and I even went and watched some documentaries on it. After I watched the movie, but they do the movie so similar to the real story. Like they did a really good job on it. But it's definitely, it's real to me. I'm like, holy fuck, that really happened to somebody. That's pretty crazy. I did a watch of this movie called The Doll. I had started watching it a while ago, and it was on Tubi. It's not great. I wouldn't recommend that one. I did go to the movies last night, and I saw Cocaine Bear.
What'd you think?
Dude, I loved it.
It's fun, wasn't it?
Man, I was one of those that was like, oh, I thought it'd be a good idea to eat some gummies, right? Some edibles, and go watch it. I couldn't stop laughing. I laughed the whole fucking movie. And here's the crazy thing: like my 16-year-old, and I put it out there, not a horror fan whatsoever, not even a movie fan, just gamer, right? But she was like, Cocaine Bear, ha, 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 that would be pretty funny. So I was like, okay, you want to go see it? So took her to go see it in the movie theater, and when it got to some of them crazy, I couldn't stop laughing. I was going, she's over there dying inside right now because she don't watch horror movies. But dude, I thought it was really funny. That was good.
Yeah.
I started watching. I'm gonna finish it after our podcast, but Tracy has never seen this. He says he's seen it, but I'm like, no, he hasn't. The People Under the Stairs. It's one of my
that's good.
One of my favorite Wes Craven movies.
Wes Craven, yeah.
I've seen it. I mean, I could probably quote the movie, but he's like, I don't remember this. I'm like, dude, wait, it's gonna be so good. I can't wait for him to see it. But what about you, man? What do you got it going on?
That's a good movie. When it was, like you said, it's one of his best. I watched some things. First, we'll talk about obviously Scream 6 came out. Scream 6 came out since the last time we did a podcast. Of course, that was number one in the movies last week. We were talking about horror being number one and profitable, and it definitely was. So, Scream 6. Without Neve Campbell, she was not in this movie. I know you're not a big Scream fan. I know you like Scream 1, but you're not a fan of the franchise. But I love this franchise. I love it to death. It's just one of my favorite franchises, just because they love to take so much care with the story, and it's all still connected 6 movies later, and they still managed to make it work for the most part. I had a lot of fun with it. I thought it was really good. There are a few gripes I have with the movie, but there are some things that I didn't particularly love. But it's pretty brutal. It's pretty a lot of good and intense chases and just intense scenes in particular. The only gripes that I have with the movie is, so with these two newer versions, the non-Wes Craven versions of Scream, you get all these people that, man, they're getting stabbed like relentlessly, like just relentless, and they still live, and it's like, okay, somebody could get stabbed 30 times and live, but it's not likely, right? It's not
right.
the norm. But you're gonna get stabbed so many times in part 5 and then in part 6 and still live. I don't know. It just that, and then at the end of the movie, everybody's stabbed or shot or whatever, and they're just walking around normal. And it's like, come on, just make it a little bit more realistic. Because I mean, poor Dewey, he would get stabbed like once or twice, and you go, he's dead. You go, he still lived. Come on. But these people are getting like freaking just gutted, So
everyone says that, from what I've read, that you definitely have to watch 5 before you watch 6. Is that right?
Yes. Yeah. Well, I mean, you need to watch them all really for the whole continuity of everything, because they all tie together so much that you really need to watch them all, I think, to really get the whole thing. But I mean, if you just want to watch a slasher, I guess you could just watch it, whatever. You wouldn't have to have the whole story if you don't want it. But yeah, you probably should watch 5 for sure, but really I would recommend the whole thing.
Maybe I'll just have like a binge weekend or something and just veg out and watch some damn Scream weekend long. Sounds like a good time to me.
Because for me, like this is the only franchise that hasn't completely jumped ship. I mean, every other franchise, they have at least 1 or 2 movies where you're like, what the hell is happening now? You know, I mean, let's face it, Jason Went to Space. We had Nightmare 2. You know, we had, they all kind of just, I mean, Michael Myers, let's face it, he's had a bunch of different ones from part 6 to Kills, come on. I mean, but this one hasn't really completely jumped ship. Part 3 I did a rewatch of 1 through 5 before this, by the way. That was kind of the thing I did to get ready for it. And I still love 1. 1's the best. I love 2. I think it's great. 3 they try to a few little things in that one I don't particularly love. I think that's the weakest entry. I like 4. It's not my favorite, but I like it. 5 I like it. I like it pretty good. And I think this one's holds up. I think it's a fun movie, but yeah, it was number 1, so I really did like it. I did enjoy it, and I will rewatch it. Other things I watched: Spoonful of Sugar. This one's on Shudder.
Spoonful of Sugar. It makes me want to sing the song. The Mary Poppins. No, I haven't heard of this one, so tell me about it.
Millicent is taking a semester off from her studies to take care of Johnny, a sickly mute child with severe allergies. His mother, Rebecca, is an author, and her father is a carpenter. Whenever this happens, and she sort of forms this bond with Johnny, who doesn't talk, and it sort of creates this rift between Johnny and her and his mother, because he sort of gets taken by this babysitter, and then sort of some devious bad things happen. It was a pretty good movie. It was a pretty good little, I would call it more maybe like a thriller. I mean, there's not a lot of gore or blood or anything like that in it, but it's on Shudder. You can check it out. Not great, but a decent little watch.
Okay.
I'll talk a little bit about a movie I didn't really particularly care for, and it was called Slayers. A group of superstar influencers are drawn to a reclusive billionaire's mansion only to find themselves trapped in the lair by an evil vampire. This has got Thomas Jane in it, a few other people that you know, but I wasn't really a fan of it. It's all like social media influencers and that plot line.
That doesn't even sound that you already got me on that one. I'm like,
yeah. That plot line, not my favorite. Not my favorite right there. All right, up next was Death to Metal.
Death to Metal. I feel like I've seen this one.
After a freak accident, a Serb priest is transformed into a mutated killing machine on a mission to wipe out the godless fans of heavy metal music. So it's a horror comedy about like these heavy metal, black metal artists and stuff, and like these priests who obviously hate heavy metal, but then this guy kind of it's like a kind of a slasher, but a slasher against heavy metal music. It was pretty fun. It's not as good as like say Deathgasm and stuff like that, but I had a good time with it.
That's what I thought you were actually referencing to. I was like, I feel like I've seen this, but I'm thinking of Deathgasm. That's what I'm thinking of.
Yeah, that one was really good. Yeah. This one's a little bit more indie than that one, but it was pretty fun. Speaking of indie, we've talked about these movies before, like Headless and Bound and stuff like that. Remember those movies?
Oh yeah, of course.
Those were made in Indiana, if I'm recalling correctly. And maybe you've seen these, maybe you haven't. One was called Plank Face, and the other one's called Harvest Lake. Have you seen these movies?
Plank Face sounds familiar to me.
Mm-hmm.
But go ahead and fill us in. Fill us in.
Okay. They're both directed by this guy named Scott Sherman.
Oh yes, I know exactly who that is.
Okay.
I know exactly the movie director. I know exactly who he is.
I really enjoy these movies. They're both like kind of set in the woods.
Mm-hmm.
Plank Face is pretty good. It's a man who's taken captive by a feral family in the deep woods. They are determined to transform him, body and mind, into one of their own, whether he likes it or not. This was a pretty good little movie. It's a little indie movie, made in Indy, I think. And I really enjoyed it. But the one I like the most is Harvest Lake. You haven't seen this one? I heavily recommend this one. 5 friends fall under the seductive influence of a libidinous, otherworldly presence that threatens to change their lives forever. What can I say about this movie? This is a kinky little film.
Okay.
It's kind of think David Cronenberg meets Society. A lot of sticky stuff in it. It's great. It's low budget, it's indie stuff, but I really enjoyed this one. I would say check this one out.
Scott directed it, so
Yeah.
just knowing what I know about his films, like you're going to be in. I'll be in for a treat.
Yeah,
we'll all be in for a treat when we go check these out for sure.
Yeah, Jason Crowe, he's from Kentucky, I think. Ellie Church, I think she might be indie based. Tristan Risk is in it. It's really well made and creepy. I thought. I mean, a really good movie for it to be a really low budget indie film. Up next was The Outwaters. Have you seen this movie? There's a lot of talk about The Outwaters out there. I think among the big movies they're talked about this year, Skinamarink and The Outwaters is probably the main two. Have you heard of this one or seen it?
Nope. I hope it was better than Skinamarink, though.
Well, I don't think that takes too much, but
right.
So this is a found footage movie. Okay. You know how I feel about found footage movies. I don't particularly like a lot of them. I mean, I do love some of them, but I don't particularly love them as a genre. 4 travelers encounter a menacing phenomenon while camping in a remote stretch of the Navajo desert. This movie is pretty wild, pretty out there. So you got this group, this guy and his brother. This guy is a filmmaker, but he's like makes music with this girl, and they are going out to the Navajo desert to film a music video. So like the first 30 minutes of the movie, you're like getting to know these people, and it's kind of just whatever boring, typical found footage shit, you know?
Yeah.
Whatever. All right. So, but then once they get into the desert and they start camping and stuff, then it becomes like Blair Witch because they're camping, and then at night they're hearing these loud, crazy noises and stuff. And it just starts, that kind of sets up the tension and everything. But around about the halfway mark of this movie, it just goes batshit crazy.
Okay.
It just goes wild. Like really, really crazy wild. Like Blair Witch meets Event Horizon meets Hellraiser or something kind of wild. I enjoyed it. I want you to watch it. I don't know if you're gonna like it or not. It's not a plot heavy once it gets going kind of thing, because I mean there is a plot there, but it's not a narrative. Like, it's wild. It's sort of a little bit of a loop too. That's really hard to describe, right? That sounds like a lot of what the hell are you talking about kind of a thing. So I would say experience it. But it's on Screambox, I think.
That's what I was gonna ask you. Like, where? Okay, you got me all excited. Like, where can I see this? All right, love Screambox. Perfect.
But it's a good movie. I liked it more than I thought I was going to, because again, found footage is a more miss than it is hit with me. But it's bloody. It's really bloody. It's gory. It's wild, and yeah, I thought it was pretty good. Okay. All right. So up next, I did some rewatches. Smiley. This was like a slash kind of thing that came out in 2012. I hadn't seen it since then, so I kind of just rewatched it. It's not particularly that great, but if you just need a slasher, there you go. Up next was a rewatch of Wizard of Gore. Have you ever seen this one?
I don't think so.
It's not the old Herschel Gordon Lewis Wizard of Gore. It's the remake, which it has Crispin Glover in it.
Really? Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
What year is this?
This one came out in 2007.
2007. Okay.
2007.
Okay.
Yeah.
I haven't seen this one then. Okay.
This one is pretty good. I really like this one. This one is pretty gory, and it has. You remember those Suicide Girls back in the day? Remember that thing?
My gosh! Yes.
You remember that?
Yes.
Okay. So like 3 or 4 of those Suicide Girls they're in this movie. So Crispin Glover, he plays like this magician, and he brings all these people on stage, and he kills them, and he brings them, quote unquote, back to life. But then they end up being dead for real. So yeah, and there's all this talk about this sort of hallucinatory drug that makes you see what you want to see, kind of a deal. But it was really good. I really like it. I think it's a pretty good movie.
Okay.
Up next was a little indie film called She Kills. It says, when Sadie's husband is murdered by a vicious gang called the Touchers, she finds she is possessed by a strange hidden power to aid her in her quest for revenge. which is in her crotch. This is a
Oh, okay.
this is a horror comedy, heavy on the comedy / action movie. It says it's a grindhouse exploitation, but it's not really as serious or gritty as those. It's really more like goofy. So if you want a like goofy, silly movie, it was pretty fun. But yeah, decent. Up next was a rewatch of another little indie film called Bleeding Hearts. Have you seen this one?
Oh, I don't think so.
Undercover journalist travels to a small town, attempting to expose the dark secrets. He quickly discovers that the town is home to a cult of 5 twisted sisters that capture men for a sadistic yearly ritual.
Oh wait, I think I have seen this movie.
You think so? Yeah.
Yeah.
It's got quite a few like Susie Lorraine, which she's been in a lot of. Tony Todd's in it too, actually. The guy who played on Saved by the Bell, Screech. The guy who played Screech is in it.
Dustin Diamond.
Dustin Diamond, yeah, he's in it. Yeah, so there's quite a few people in it. Of course, Marlantha Blackthorne is in it, and she was in one of my films, and I think she's great. So it's a fun little movie. It's a little independent movie, but it's a fun one. Last couple things I watched was In Dreams, and this was a sort of thriller horror movie. Anyway, it's about this girl and her husband. They go she's delusional, or she has a lot of mental problems. So it kind of plays on that. It's kind of a typical story. It's not too original, but a decent watch. Last one I watched today is one on Shudder called Leave. A young woman tries to find her origins after having been abandoned as an infant in a cemetery, wrapped in a cloth with satanic symbols. But as she gets closer to answers, a malevolent spirit is trying to tell her to leave. This one was a pretty decent movie.
I've seen this one.
Did you watch this one?
Yeah, I think so. And I remember it's kind of underrated, but I feel like I remember I walked away and I was like, I kind of liked it.
Yeah.
I liked it.
It was pretty decent. Pretty decent little movie. That's all I got for you as far as watching. You ready to talk to Jay?
Yeah, let's talk to Jay. You want to?
Let's do it.
Cool.
All right, guys. Joining us now is Jay Crimson. Jay is a vocalist, filmmaker, podcaster, kind of just jack of all trades here. Welcome, Jay.
Hey, how are you guys? Thanks for having me on.
Hey, Jay, what's up?
Nothing much. Just hanging out.
Cool. Sounds like you got a lot of things going on.
Yeah, I try to stay busy.
That's cool. Hey, tell me a little bit about your band. So you're a podcaster, you're a filmmaker, and you're in a band, or you have your own band.
What do you play in the band? What vocalist, guitarist? What do you do?
I'm actually in 3 different bands.
Wow.
Yeah, I actually I play the drums. I kind of have a love-hate relationship with the drum set, but
Okay.
I play the drums in like a stoner doom band called the Candle Burners, and it's kind of like a Alice in Chains, Soundgarden, Black Sabbath hybrid type of thing.
Okay.
All right.
My main band, No Class Assassins. I am the vocalist in that band, and we got signed to Hellfire Records in early 2019. We released our first album, The Cruel Fate of Destiny, December of 2019. We played a little bit for it in support of it, and then COVID happened. So some things were kind of put on the back burner.
Sure.
In that span of time, guitar player had some health issues and stuff like that. So we kind of put that on hiatus for right now. And I started a hardcore punk band called Chemical Valley Mutants. And we play hardcore punk, kind of like Negative Approach or Old School Misfits or Minor Threat, stuff like that. Real pissed off punk.
Very cool. Very cool. Now, when you play in these bands, do you ever try to get them all in the same venue, or is it all a very separate thing? Like you kind of just don't mix them together, or how does that work?
They never really have gotten a chance to mix yet. The Candle Burners and Chemical Valley Mutants haven't played a show yet. We're
Mhm.
still in the writing process.
Okay.
So there's that. Chemical Valley Mutants, though, will probably be playing out this year for sure, probably by spring or summertime.
Very cool. Very cool. Now, your main band, you've had some success with that one, I take it. Where all have you played with that?
Oh yeah, No Class Assassins. Yeah, there's a local radio station around here called The Riff, 101.1 FM, The Riff, and they've played us numerous times on Midnight Metal. Um, Alan Slayer Beck, he's a guy that works at The Riff, and he gave us quite the push in the beginning. It helped get some ears on our music in like the early years, 2009, 2010. 2009 is when we first started. Um, we started playing all the local clubs, all the dive bars, all the holes in the wall, and trying to open up for bigger bands. Like, I didn't think we were ready to open up for the Misfits, but our buddy Jerome was like, I already called and they said that you could open. You just got to sell like 50 tickets. And I was like, dude, like we could do that. So we weren't ready, but we ended up opening up for the Misfits
Hell
in
yeah, dude.
Detroit.
That's so awesome.
Yeah,
That's
yeah, it was
awesome.
fun. And they're like my favorite band of all time. Well, the Danzig era, but any incarnation, I'm all about it. So it was
Yeah.
cool. We opened up for them that night. And that kind of kickstarted a chain of events. We opened up for Suicide Silence at the same place, and then we opened up. We actually got the chance to play Warped Tour 2010.
Nice.
So we played that, and um, let's see, we played for Guar, Mushroom Head, Goat Whore. Let's see, uh, Crowbar. I
Man,
Hate God.
that's some pretty fun bands though, That's some fun
Yeah,
gigs.
we've opened up for Green Jelly a bunch of times.
Oh,
So
that's
I have to ask. So you're like, hey, they play our songs on 101.1. So I know that you must not. I'm Nashville. So I'm based on in Nashville. So 101.1 here's a hip hop station. So I know you must not be in Nashville. So whereabouts are you located at?
you're in Michigan, right? Is that the Michigan area?
Michigan?
Yep, I am about, I would say I'm not too far. I'm not Metro Detroit, but I'm not too far from Detroit. I'd say Detroit's like 45 minutes away from me in like the St. Clair County, Port Huron area. I can see Canada from the river. I can like point to it. It's crazy.
Oh, it's pretty fun.
Nice. Yeah. Let's talk about other things. So podcasting, you do the podcast stuff. Tell us your experience about that. How do you like it?
I dig it. I am interested in, I'm definitely a fanboy when it comes to all this stuff like metal, horror, stuff like that. My funnest one, my funnest podcast that I've had was the Exorcist guy, the Archbishop who performed real exorcisms around America and stuff.
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's
and
fun.
even like in out of the country and across the pond and shit like that. And he was telling me all this crazy stuff, and that originally wasn't my first idea. I thought I was just gonna stick to like culture stuff, like the horror culture or the metal culture, punk
Mm-hmm.
stuff like that. But that was pretty sweet. The drummer of Cannibal Corpse, Art the Clown. Yeah, a lot of that stuff. It was just a lot of fun.
Yeah. Very cool. Very cool.
Awesome. Yeah, that's fun.
I've
It's
always,
always fun, right? Always a good
Mhm.
time.
yeah, I've always kind of had a thing for radio. I always wanted to, have guests on and talk to them and do what you guys are doing, and it's just fun. And like I said, I'm a fan first, so all the stuff just comes natural to me.
That's all. So you're really big in like all different types of art. So you're a musician, you're into filmmaking, you do podcasts. So you're right. Mike was right. You're kind of like the jack of all trades. So in filmmaking, are you always in front of the camera or behind the camera? Do you act as well as direct or no?
I was in The Witch, my short film, and I was in Green Hell,
Okay.
a film that I made. But if I like to do little short things here and there, but I prefer to be behind the camera. I've learned over the years. So yeah, I like to come up with the story and just try to, push whatever is on the screen to
Mhm.
push the story forward and the narrative.
And when did you start making movies?
Ooh, so my first attempt at a short film was Green Hell, and I filmed that between 2006 and 2008. And I was just sitting on all the stuff I recorded, the footage, for a while because I didn't really think anything of it. I thought it was just one of those things. We just did it for fun. It was never really going to get finished. But my buddy Justin Squires from Dark Forest Media, I met him and we partnered up, and he liked some of the footage, so edited it up and released it in late 2013 and had a few screenings and spread the word about it, created social media around it, and that was all. Um, Filmed it on a shitty Sony Handycam, like a
Really?
digital high 8 tape.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah, in some of the scenes, I just posted up some Trauma Now clips for them because you can check out my films on Trauma Now. But yeah, it was crazy. You could hear the tape humming in the background.
Right. Old school. The old school. The sort of almost VHS era type look and feel, right?
Yeah,
Go ahead.
I'm really inspired by stuff like that. The whole
Yeah.
80s VHS
So
aesthetic.
trauma now. How did that come about? How'd you get your stuff on there?
Oh, Trauma Now. I've always been a Trauma fan,
Mhm.
and Toxic Avenger, Class of Nukem High, stuff like that, and the craziness. And I had a podcast with Lloyd Kaufman.
Yeah.
And he started to talk about my movies because I had mentioned that I've filmed a few things, and he said he was interested in seeing them. And I sent them over to him. I guess he checked them out, and his agent messaged me like a few days later and said, we would like to put your stuff up on the Trauma streaming service. Would you be interested? And I said yes. And we signed a licensing agreement, and that was that.
Awesome. That's really good exposure there.
Heck yeah,
Yeah,
that's
that's
awesome.
what I thought.
Yeah,
Thanks. I appreciate that.
that's
Yeah.
cool.
So I did check out some of your shorts. You've got your YouTube channel that you have some shorts and stuff. I saw The Witch. I thought that was really cool. I like the way it looks and everything. The non-dialogue version, a little short film. Very cool. What about feature films? Are you working on anything now?
I am working on a movie right now. I am hoping that it will be my first full-length movie.
Okay.
Yeah, we're not sure yet. Me and Justin, we don't want to. We're piecing it together currently, and I still have like 3 or 4 things to wrap up filming on. But we're not sure if it's going to be full length. We're going to try trimming the fat, but at the same time, we don't want a bunch of pointless shit in there just to have pointless shit in there. I mean, sometimes because I like stuff like that. I'm kind of like a lower budget Rob Zombie type of guy, but I like visuals for the sake of visuals, even if it might not push the story forward. But yeah, I'm trying to trim some of the fat out of it right now. It's called Lilith, and it's loosely based around the Lilith demon. It's a gritty, dark movie. It's about a junkie prostitute who decides to perform a ritual and try to summon help through witchcraft, and we'll just say she ends up becoming influenced, and crazy things start to happen to her.
Okay. All right. So
It kind of sounds fun, you know.
Yeah.
It's fun.
Walk us through this now, from conception to almost completion here. Like, how long has it been? When did you start? You wrote this yourself? Is that right?
Yes.
When did
Yes.
you start all this, and how? What's your journey?
Let's see. So 2000, no, I would say, yeah, 2020. So 2020, I'm working at Speedy Q gas station, and I start talking to this girl, Mandy, and she's kind of a watered down version of this character, so to speak, because she just amped up all the trauma that she's had in her life. We just amped it up a bit,
Hmm.
and she's had a rough life herself, and we kind of put that on camera. Um, she me and her started improving ideas and stuff we could put on screen and seeing what we could do with what we had, and we put our money together and bought some cool props, and the story just kind of goes. I wanted some symbolic things in there. I'm very symbolic. I like, there's a few things in this movie that I can guarantee people will have never have seen on camera before,
It's always good.
and I wanted to shock. I've always wanted to shock people, and I feel like this is going to do that with something that is not. It's kind of hinted at times in movies, but it's never seen on camera.
Okay.
And I think we did that. It's going to push some boundaries for sure. Uh, this movie is kind of influenced by the 60s and 70s type of witchcraft movies, like that had William Shatner in it, or Ernest Borgnine, and it was always about the devil though, and him trying to like take down the hooded druid guys and naked chicks with ritual knives and stuff like that. I love stuff like that.
Right.
So
Oh yeah. Yeah.
that
Yeah.
mixed with kind of trippy horror. Um, I definitely wanted to add some psychedelic elements to this, so it's visually entertaining. To kind of take away from the independent look, because it definitely does have that underground independent vibe, but it's going to have a lot of cool imagery that you don't usually see in a movie like that, and we're getting pretty proud of it as we go. We're only like 20 something minutes in right now of the assembly cut,
Hmm.
so yeah, it's
Awesome.
definitely gonna raise some eyebrows.
All right.
Um,
That's what we like. That sounds good. We look forward to that.
right. And have you guys ever heard of Fiverr?
Fiverr.
Fiverr, the website called Fiverr.
Yeah, yeah. My daughter does digital art, so she kind of got introduced to that website. How do you sell your movies on there or?
No, but Fiverr has a bunch of, like you said, artists that go on there
Yeah.
and offer their service for a price. So they're all independent artists. So I went on there and I paid some independent artists for different animations for Lilith. So
Oh.
this movie is going to be kind of a live stop motion claymation type of puppeteer hybrid movie, kind of like a independent, whacked out Alice in Wonderland.
Oh. That sounds good.
That's awesome. That's such a fun website. My daughter that does if you know anything about digital art, it's really hard, but she gets all like people will pay her money they'll just rattle off an idea and say, "Hey, can you come up with this design?" And it's a pretty cool little fun thing. Mike, if you're not familiar with it, check it out. It's a fun website.
Yeah. All right. Cool. You got anything
Yeah,
else,
it's really cool.
Bridget?
Nope, nothing else for you.
Nothing else. Favorite horror movie? Favorite extreme horror?
Ooh, my favorite extreme horror movie. I still consider the original Evil Dead extreme. I mean, it kind of
Sure.
opened the doors, the floodgates for all the extreme horror directors to come. So I always say the Evil Dead, and I'm excited for the new one.
Oh
I
yeah.
think
Yeah.
it's going to be badass.
I think so too. It looks great.
April 21st, Evil Dead Rise.
Absolutely. Yeah. Okay. Well, Jay, At this point in time, we'll do a little thing called quotes. Bridget?
Quotes. So Jay, I have this little thing that I like to do is quotes. Everybody like rattles off quotes. I'm a movie quote person. So I'm always like rattling off quotes from movies. So Mike thought it'd be fun for us to play a little game. You want to play a game?
Sure.
He's gonna rattle off some movie quotes and we have to guess what movie it's from. So we'll just kind of play it together and don't let him fool you because he'll throw some curveballs sometimes. So it can be a little tough, but it's really fun. So let's do this.
All right.
All right. I think that doesn't need any more of an introduction. So let's start off with something really simple, okay?
Okay.
Really simple. Here we go. All right. Try as they will and try as they might, who steals me gold won't live through the night.
A leprechaun.
Leprechaun.
Oh, that was good, Jay.
For
What a
St.
classic.
Patty's Day recently. Okay. That was good. All right. Number 2. Are we ready?
Ready.
Yep.
All right. This one is a long one, so listen carefully. I never wanted to be your mother. Why? I was scared. I didn't feel like a mother, but she pressured me. Then why did you have me? It wasn't my fault. I tried to stop it. How? I tried to have a miscarriage. How? However I could. I did everything they told me not to do, but it didn't work. I'm happy it didn't work. You tried to kill me. No, I love you. Why did you try to kill me? I didn't. I was trying to save you.
Hereditary.
What'd you say?
Hereditary.
Hereditary. There it is.
I was like, that's
okay.
I got it. I was like, yeah, that it made so much sense when you're rattling it off. Okay.
All right. Good. Good deal. Good deal.
All right.
All right. Number 3. Here we go. 2 households, different as dried plums and pears in fair Manhattan, where we lay our scene.
Oh wait, hold on. I
Ooh.
need you to say that one more time. Sorry.
Sure.
Okay.
2 households, different as dried plums and pears in fair Manhattan, where we lay our scene.
Okay.
Oh,
I don't know this one. Hold on. Anything. Can I have a hint? It's time for a hint, please.
Well, this guy is the sort of introductionary of the acts of the film, and he is in a famous rock band.
oh, what?
Mm-hmm.
Read the quote one more time. One more time.
2 households, different as dried plums and pears in fair Manhattan, where we lay our scene.
Okay. Can you give me like a year sort of maybe?
A year
Like,
that
yeah.
came out,
Yeah.
1996.
Okay, 90s. Okay. Come on, Jay. Where you at, friend?
If you
Damn, it's not Twilight Zone, is it?
nope. If you rip open the girl's stomach, popcorn comes out.
Popcorn.
That might have been a misdirect. I don't know. There's 2 houses, obviously 2 households. 2 warring households.
Is it like Manhattan something? No. I don't know. I don't know this one, damn it. Shit.
There is a penis monster in it.
A what monster?
A penis?
I don't know this one.
Big-
Shit. Maybe I haven't seen it.
I'm pretty sure you have. Let me see. So maybe that's too vague. Think Shakespeare. 2 households, different as dried plums and pears in fair Manhattan, where we lay our scene.
This isn't a trauma movie, is it?
Is it? You tell me.
It's probably
the
like
sh-
Toxic Avenger or something stupid like that.
Not
No.
that. What is it, Jay?
It's not Shakespeare Shitstorm.
No, not that one.
It's not the Toxic Avenger.
Not that one.
Romeo and Juliet.
Romeo and
I
Juliet.
fucking love that movie too.
Lemmy from Motorhead says two households, different
Dude,
striped
I
plums and
cannot.
Fair Manhattan. We're there to see.
I cannot believe it took me that fucking long because I love that movie. I don't specifically remember that quote, but I love that movie because it is so fucking out there. So
Right. I'm sad.
I know.
I'm sad with myself on that
I
one.
can't believe it took me that damn long to get it. I'm ashamed of myself because I love that fucking movie. So
That is a
was
good movie.
I told
Yeah.
you what I tell you about Mike, man. Michael catches slipping now. I'm just saying.
All right, you ready for number 4?
Yeah, let's do it.
All right, listen carefully. Pancakes. Pancakes. No pancakes. Pancakes. No pancakes.
Damn, that's a damn movie quote. That sounds
Sure-
like
sure is.
something my kiddos say to me every damn morning. Pancakes.
It is one scene, one very bizarre, odd
Is it
scene
like-
in the movie.
It's a zombie movie, isn't it?
Nope.
No, it's not
Mm-mm.
like oh shit. Okay.
Jay, anything?
Oh man.
I could say it in the right inflection, and that might get it for you.
Like it's not
Okay.
like Cabin Fever. No.
Cabin Fever?
No, that's not it, is it?
That is it.
Yes, it is. You asshole. You ass. I was like, that's not it, is it? Damn, I was like, that's actually a pretty obvious quote.
It's a funny scene. You know, the little
It
kid,
is
the little
funny.
kid with
Yeah.
trying to do the karate pancakes.
Yeah, I know.
Yep.
Damn, that was I told you, Michael catch you slipping too. I love it.
I guess so.
Yeah,
All
he's
right.
good. He's good.
Last one. In death, there are no accidents, no coincidences, no mishaps, and no escapes.
Ooh. The Final Destination?
Final Destination. There you go. That was it.
No way.
That's it.
Excellent.
All right. That is quotes, guys. That was not too hard. Not too hard. Tony Todd said, in death, there are no accidents, no coincidences, no mishaps, and no escapes.
Hey Jay, so for all our listeners out there, so where can we find you at? Are you out there? I'm guessing you're out there on social media. Where can we find you?
Oh yeah, there's quite a bit of stuff. Let's see. So all of my main stuff is on my Facebook page. I'm usually always on Facebook, and I do message back people, so don't be shy. Facebook.com/NoClassJ, Facebook.com/Crimson Videos, Facebook.com/Chemical Valley Mutants, Facebook.com/No Class Assassins, and Facebook.com/Watch for Lilith. And my YouTube is youtube.com/KillYourBoss69, and that's Crimson Videos. Instagram @JCrimson83. My TikTok @J_Crimson_videos. And my 3 short films, Crickets in the Snow, The Witch, Green Hell, and 2 No Class Assassins music videos are up on Troma now, and you can check that out at watch.troma.com.
Wow.
Awesome. That is a lot. Man,
Damn.
That's great.
You are so. And it's funny that we're as we're talking, I'm getting messages. So there's ladies out there that want to know, are you single?
Yeah, I am.
Okay. All right, ladies. He is single. It's official. He put it out there. I didn't ask, but I've gotten 2 messages. I was like, is that a serious question? So I guess it is. So okay. That's
Nice.
awesome. And don't forget to check his movies out on Troma Now.
Absolutely. Yeah, Jay. Well, thanks for coming on, and keep us updated on Lilith and all these other projects you got going on, and good luck in the future with all of them.
Thank you, and thanks for having me on tonight's show. I love what you guys are doing, and keep supporting the underground.
Cool.
Sure. Absolutely.
Awesome. Thanks, Jay.
Thank you.
Okay.
All right, then. Take care.
Bye.
Bye.
And there you have it. Jay Crimson.
Damn, Jay's a busy guy.
Yeah, a lot going on there. So many bands. I mean, I can imagine being 3 bands, and that's a lot to take care of at one time. That and plus doing all the other stuff.
Oh my gosh, right? I'm like, wow, that is so crazy busy to me. I'm like, man, he's a jack of all trades.
Yeah, I mean, back in the day, I knew some people who would like play in like 2 different bands, but it was always like this tension because they're like, "Hey, the guy's over there and he's playing his other band. He's not playing in my band." Blah blah blah. You know, like there's always like dedication, man, dedication. So yeah, kudos to him for getting all that accomplished.
Hell yeah!
All right, well, you got anything else for me,
man? I do want to give a shout out.
Okay.
So we have Full Moon Tattoo and Horror Festival coming up.
Mm-hmm.
It's in Nashville, April the 7th through the 9th. You want to check out some faux pas films. So check out Three-Legged Circus. We're going to have a booth there. So if any of our listeners want to check out some of our films, we're going to have all the films there. So Full Moon Tattoo and Horror Festival, Nashville, April 7th through the 9th.
Yeah, if you're a horror fan, you probably know about this if you live in the area. If not, definitely worth checking out. They have a lot of cool guests, usually almost every year, and it's a fun experience. I haven't been in years, but I always had a lot of fun when I went.
Man, if you're not in the area, go ahead and book your plane ticket to Nashville.
Come on down, yeah.
Come to Nashville, come to the South where things are really happening. This is where the horror really is, right, Mike?
Absolutely. There's a lot of horror.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
All right. Well, I guess that's it for now.
Okay.
Everybody needs to stay hard.
Stay hardcore.
Stay hard. If you have to take a blue pill, take it. Stay hardcore. All right. All right. Later.
Wow, that's hardcore.
Nothing harder.
Hardcore Horror with Mike and Brigitte is a part of the Tennessee Horror Podcast Network.